And what exactly was the corporate plan?
Well, the corporate plan took into account many things. I mean, one thing that we did talk about was the finance of the company.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing. The fact that although the workforce was reducing, the government was putting money into Lucas Aerospace, and Lucas were paying no tax, or virtually no tax. I think.
Was it 40,000 or 50,000?
400,000.
400,000.
Yeah, I got it here, 400,000. And the total profits, and this was between 71 and 77, the total profits were 251. This is Lucas Industries, this is. And the total tax paid was 10 million. 10 million was paid, and the total grants received were 10 million, virtually the same. And the total to the exchequer, after all of that, was 470,000.
Yeah.
So they only paid 470,000, and in that time, Lucas Industries lost 12,500 jobs. So they were not, they weren't getting jobs. They were throwing money, taxpayers' money, our money, at Lucas.
That's right.
For destroying jobs. That's what it was about. So that was one part, if you like.
So how did the plan aim to reconfigure that financial relationship between government and between the company?
Well, I think what we were saying was that to make up, we weren't saying replace aerospace. We knew that wouldn't take place. That couldn't take place. But because there was a reduction in aerospace work, we said let's fill that reduction with other products, alternative products, and make sure that those alternative products answer society's needs. That was the idea that came out of the Combine, out of the discussion. There was a big discussion about this, and some were not happy about it. Some of the stewards were not happy. They didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
It's all in that book there by Hilary Wainwright. But that's the way we felt. We was moving forward. We was taking a proactive stance, and we were saying that if there's any money that comes into Lucas Aerospace, taxpayers' money, development grants and whatever, they should be tied into the fact that there would be, people employed on these particular projects. And we took into account the fact that how much it costs for people to be unemployed. So there was the waste of skill. The people, because they were very skilled in Lucas Aerospace, like a lot of companies are, they were particularly well skilled right from the shop floor, There they were machining, inspecting, and right the way through up to the design, as I've said about design and detail, and it was a complete inspection. There was a complete skill mix of people who were there, and we said that would be a waste. So why don't we use them people? Why don't people be used to fill that gap, making things which are socially useful go along with it.
And could you run through for us some of the 150 alternative products that you suggested?
Yeah, you want me to do 150?
As many as you like.
Different areas, really. There was energy conservation. That was the one that we were particularly concerned about.
Yeah.
I mean, even in those days, we was talking about an oil shortage and the fact that it was going to run out at some stage. So we were talking about solar cell production,
Right.
and surprisingly, wind turbines, because it wasn't a big change from the gas turbines, if you like, that we produce, the turbines for the engines in Rolls-Royce. It was produced, I think, in Burnley. to a wind turbine. So there wasn't a big change there, you know. So that was one of the things. We was also talking about heat pumps, where heat pump apparently. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but heat pumps, from what I gather, they're used now a lot, and they extract the heat either from the air or from the soil to heat homes. You know, it's like a reverse of a refrigerator. So we was talking about the production of one of those of a whole range of heat pumps, and in fact, Burnley got involved in that. Burnley management got involved in that with the workforce at one stage. But it's after they'd done the initial development work, then it faded because obviously Lucas management were not happy with the workforce involved in directing what the company was producing. You know, so that was a heat that was the heat pump. So those were sort of energy conservation issues that we were pushing. I'm just doing one or two of them, okay? And then there was the engine of a car, ordinary car, hybrid. Everybody runs around in a hybrid now, don't they? Most cars have got hybrid engines now. It was something which was at a very early stage at that point. And the hybrid, I presume you know, is the best characteristics of a petrol engine and an electric engine. Because although Lucas had experimented in their electrical division about the production of electric cars, the battery technology wasn't good enough to be able to carry them. You know, it only carried the car only went a few miles before it needed recharging up again. I mean, and the car would have been full of batteries. You know what I mean? It would have been just so the hybrid was the move forward. Combination of the two. And the other thing that was transport. We talked about a road rail vehicle.
Yes, I remember this. Yeah.
And that was a vehicle particularly suited for developing countries because, as you know, when you're running a rail through, you've got to knock mountains down, put tunnels through, all that sort of thing. Now with a road rail vehicle, you can. It was capable of doing a 1 in 6 incline. You just drop you come off the rails and you lift the bogies up, if you like, and you run on tyres. Yeah. So it was a road rail vehicle. And we actually, I mean, it's an indication that we were very resourceful, really, because we had a collection around the factories and we bought an old bus, a single-decker bus, and
to convert it.
And converted it.
Yeah.
And Burnley workforce in their spare time when the gaffer wasn't looking, produced some of the bogie wheels for it. Amazing. And we took it round the country and showed people what it was about. And I actually went down to, I think it was Somerset, North Somerset, one of these sort of volunteer railway places, and we ran this on there, and it works, you know. So that was another idea. Now, I mean, that might seem a bit, pie in the sky, but if you have a look, you Google now, road rail vehicles, you'll see them. They're in operation. Yeah. They are in operation even now. Right. And as I say, most people have got hybrids on. And then there was medical equipment, you see. Medical equipment. Now, Lucas, at one of its factories, produced kidney dialysis machine. Yeah. And the plans of Lucas was to get rid of that.
Yeah. And already people were dying because there was a limited amount being produced.
That's right. Yeah. That you've said what I was just going to say. Yes, that was the point. I think they said about the age of 45. If you're over the age of 45, you wouldn't get one. I think there was a ration, you know, they rationed it. And what we said was, what a ridiculous society we've got, where people are dying as a result of not having kidney dialysis, and people being thrown out of work. That don't make sense. And we were also talking about heating systems. With the elderly at that time, there was a lot of people dying at that time because of basic heating systems, you know, and we said we could make them. We can make the Concord, but we can't make them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, these contradictions we were pointing out all the time. So I mean, that's some of the stuff we were talking about. We was also talking about submersibles as well. That's, I mean, you see now in these nature programs, when they go down to the bottom and you know, see the terrain down there and the fish and whatever. And Vickers Oceanics had produced them, but we could produce the equipment for them quite easily. We could have done that very, very easily.